For like 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Come around this side for me. We out here teaching our people that we are the Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? If I was to ask you what's your nationality, what would you tell me?
Hispanic.
Hispanic, right? Do you know what Hispanic means?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Well, not really, but...
It means property of Spain. Are you the property of Spain?
Yeah.
No, you're not the property of Spain. That's one thing. That's a mindset that they've given us. But let me show you something. Look at this sign over here. No, yeah, at the end right here. So, if you look on this sign, over here is what God called us. Over here is what we were called over here when we were put in slavery and colonialized. Where would you fit on that sign? Which group would you belong to?
Mexican.
Mexican, right? You see that next to that? You're not a Mexican. That's what we're going to show you. You are from the tribe of Issachar. Right. Because you are one of 12 tribes of Israel. Like, when we ask our people, they always say, I'm a child of God, right? You're a child of God, right? But what you don't realize is you are literally a child of God. God had 12 kids. God had 12 kids that he loved. And this is one. And you from one of them. You're from the tribe of Issachar. You are one of the true children of Israel. Everybody in the world is not God's child. Right. That's one of the lies we've been told, to take your blessing away from you. Watch, hold that, give me Amos 3:1. Let me show you something real quick. I'm going to show you who God's children are, because you got kids? Yeah. If your kids act up at school, do you whoop every kid at the school? Who you go get? Whoever acting up. Why? Because they your kids, right? Let's see how God feels about a group of people, about Israel. Watch this.
Amos 3:1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
So God is talking to the children of Israel. Let's see what he say.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying.
Remember that? He brought them from Egypt. Moses split the Red Sea. We're going to go back and visit that too. That's how we know we Israel, from that event. But watch this.
Saying, you only have...
Everybody.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So God told Israel what? You the only family that I have known out of all the families of the earth. So did it sound like God? That sound like God saying, you my kids, not everybody at the school, right? Read.
Therefore I will punish you.
Therefore I will punish you
for all your iniquities.
Like when your child act up, you go to the school and you punish them for what they done. Now I don't know all them other kids, but you, I'm gonna punish you for all your iniquities. And so that's what God told Israel, right? So we're gonna see who's getting punished, right? Because we can go to 28. Because you know who Moses was talking to, right? Who did Moses lead out of Egypt? The children of Israel, right? What were they doing in Egypt when they were in Egypt? Remember Moses said, let my people go? What was they doing? Why was he saying let them go? Because they were in slavery, right? The children of Israel, God's people, right? Let's see why they went into slavery. Give me 28:15. Let me show you something. This is how we know that now we're going to get to it. Because I told you, you're Issachar. You're not a Mexican. You're not a Hispanic. You're from the tribe of Issachar, one of God's children. What you should have said to me is, prove it. Prove it. Don't just let nobody tell you anything, especially when they talk about this Bible. Pastor said something about the Bible. Say, what scripture is that? Prove it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to prove all things with this Bible. Watch this.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
It shall come to pass means it's going to happen in the future. So Moses is talking to them thousands of years ago, but he said it's going to happen in the future.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
So he said if you don't, finish that.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So he said if you don't listen to all these commandments and these statutes that I give you this day, what's going to happen?
That all these curses.
Is curses a good thing or a bad thing? A bad thing, right? So God said if y'all Israel, if y'all don't keep all these commandments, then all these curses what?
Shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Shall come upon thee and overtake thee. This means you're not going to be able to shake them off, right? So remember I said this was written thousands of years ago. Give me 46. Watch this.
Deuteronomy 28:46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
He said the curse is going to be upon you for a sign and for a wonder. What does a sign do? It shows you what something is, right? An indicated marker. So he said these curses are going to be upon Israel for a sign and for a wonder.
And upon thy seed.
What is a man's seed? What is a seed? We know fruit have seeds and it reproduces, right? So what is a man's seed? What does a man reproduce? Children, right? So he said it's going to be upon thy seed. How long?
forever.
Forever. Is forever still going? So even though it was written thousands of years ago, Moses said these curses is going to be on the children of Israel if they break these commandments forever. So let's see if these curses are assigned to tell us who Israel is. Let's see who these curses fit, because if these curses fit a group of people, that means that's the sign of who Israel is, right? Read 16.
Deuteronomy 28:16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city. Anywhere you go in the world, if you want to find the ghetto, who do you find? What race of people? Black people, who else? Black people and Mexicans, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
It says, cursed shalt thou be in the field. Who was cursed in the fields during slavery? Who picks fruit in California right now for a little bit of nothing? Or Plainview, the peanut plants in Plainview, and barely get paid, right? That's two curses that fit a distinct people, right? Let's jump to 48 real quick.
Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So God says, if you don't want to keep my commandments, you're going to serve your enemies, right? So the key word right there we're going to remember is enemies, right? Let's figure out who that enemy is. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
And God sent them against us for breaking the commandments, remember?
In hunger.
In hunger. Whenever you get hungry, who do you have to go to get your food? Who owns the store? Not aware, but what race is he?
White.
White man, right? Read.
And in thirst.
And in thirst. It rains out the sky for free. But who do you got to pay a water bill to if you get a drink of water?
The white people.
Or if you go buy Dasani, who owns Dasani? Who owns Aquafina? The white people, right? But God said that, what was the key word? Remember the word I tell you to remember? Enemies, right? Read.
And in nakedness.
Whenever you want new clothes, who do you have to go get them from? Who control? We pick cotton for hundreds of years, but do we control who gets raw textiles? No. It's a one race of people that controls the whole economy, right? Read.
And in want of all things.
In want of all things. If you want a birth certificate, a death certificate, a fisher's license, driver license, a car, insurance, who you got to go to get all that? Do you go to our own people and get it? But God called them what? What did he call them? Your enemies, right? Read.
And he,
your enemy,
shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
So who is going around putting yokes of irons on people's neck? He got a yoke of iron on his neck. Who put that on him? Who put it on him though?
The white people.
So God said your enemy was going to do all this to you, right? Read.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until he have destroyed thee, because they used to put the yokes of iron on our neck. Do we got yokes of iron on our neck now? Why? Because we destroyed it already. That's why they took it off. Why we destroy it? You should know it, but let's think. Why are we destroyed? Why are we in these conditions? Why did God say this was going to happen? Don't worry, we're going to let the Bible answer. You got that, Hosea? Watch this.
Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Remember he said they're going to keep it on your neck until they destroy you? God said my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Read.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
He said, since you reject knowledge, I will also reject thee. We're going to see what knowledge he's talking about, because is he talking about the knowledge of going to college and going to get an education and all that? Is that what he's talking about? Is that the knowledge that we're destroyed for not having? Let's see, read.
That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law.
What do we forget?
The law.
What do we forget?
The Lord.
No, read it again.
The law.
The law. Because our people say, I love the Lord, I love God, so we ain't forgot that. But we just forgot what he told us to do, which is keep that the law. And so because of that, that's why we're destroyed. That's why they were able to take that off. They made you forget about what you're supposed to be doing. So, we could take them off. They don't even, nobody, we set up churches to teach them, you ain't got to keep the commandments. So they ain't keeping no laws. Read.
I will also forget thy children.
And God said, I will also forget thy children by putting these curses on them, by letting them be cursed in the city, cursed in the field. Watch, give me 32 real quick. Watch this. We're going to go back to these curses, because right now I'm just trying to show you that you are indeed an Israelite. Watch this.
Deuteronomy 28:32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Our sons and our daughters shall be given to another people. In slavery, whose sons and daughters were given to another people? Did they keep the families together? No, they sold the son over here, the daughter over there. One was in Texas, one was in Virginia, all that kind of stuff, right? He said, our sons and our daughters shall be given what? Did we do it to ourselves? Who did it? But yeah, exactly. And what did God call them? The enemies, right? Read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
And remember we said them curses going to be forever, right? So today, what's going on at the border with ICE? What are they doing? They're trying to build a wall, but what are they doing right now with the kids? They grab their kids, getting lost. They locking them up in cages, taking them away from their parents, right? He says, our sons and our daughters shall be given to another people. Is it other so-called Mexicans that are taking the Mexicans' kids and putting them in cages? Or is it another race of people doing that? Another race of people, right? And God through Moses said this was going to happen to Israel, right? And there's going to be signs of who Israel is. So if you start reading these curses, you start saying, who is it pointing to every time? What group of people is it pointing to today? That these, but I'm saying about what the curses, the things, who are the things happening to? The blacks and the Mexicans, right? So that's what we're showing you with this Bible, that the blacks and the Mexicans are the Israelites of the Bible. Right. You are God's chosen people according to the Bible. Right. I'm going to show you one more curse. Give me 68. This curse right here is the most well-known, easy to connect to the Bible. It should click for everybody, right? Okay, in school, or how did the black people get over here to America? You don't know you never heard about slavery? When they brought us on slave ships over here and all that? You never heard of slave ships? Okay, well, if you didn't know, the blacks, the reason how we got over here and put into slavery was we were in Africa. They came to Africa. We got sold on slave ships and brought over here across the Atlantic Ocean to America to be slaves. That's how we got here. We're going to show you with the Bible that was going to happen too. Watch, the Bible talks about that. Read that.
Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
He said the Lord shall bring you to Egypt again. Like we talked earlier. What were the Israelites doing in Egypt? Remember? Moses said, let my people go. Why? What were they doing? They were in slavery, right? So we're going to show you with the Bible what Egypt means, according, because you think Egypt, you think of the place. Let's show you with the Bible what Egypt means.
Deuteronomy 5 and 6. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
So he brought you out of the land of Egypt. Let's see what he calls it.
From the house of bondage.
From the house of bondage. Do you know what bondage means? Bondage means slavery, to be bound, right? So Egypt is called the house of bondage, or the house of slavery, right? So now when we go back to Deuteronomy 28:68, it gives a better understanding of what he means when he says this. Read that.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt,
or slavery,
again with ships.
God told the Israelites, I'm going to bring you into slavery again with ships. Like I tell you, that's how the blacks got to America, on the slave ships, right? Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
And this is when Moses was bringing them out of Egypt into the promised land. And he said, the way I'm telling you it's going to happen, if you break these commandments, you're not going to ever see your homeland again. Have we ever been back over there since they brought us over here in slavery? No, right? Read.
And there,
when you get off those slave ships, wherever that slave ship docked, there,
ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
What happened to us when we got off those slave ships? Got sold by the enemies, right? Right here. Slave auction blocks. You know what I'm saying? We got sold to our enemies, right? And he said enemies again, so it's the same enemy if you pay attention. It's the same when we surf and food, drink, and all that. The same enemy put us on boats and brought us over here. Read.
For bondmen and bondwomen,
slave men and slave women.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy you. We have Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Cesar Chavez, David Sanchez. We had all these great men rise up. But are we still living in the curses? We still live in a cursed in the city, because God said, no man shall save thee. And he said, these curses are going to come upon you and overtake you, which means you ain't going to be able to get them off. right? And that's why Jesus Christ said, I will not meet you as a man. He came as a man the first time. This time he coming back as God to save his people. And let's see you say, give me Matthew 15:24. I'm going to show you. This is the important part of knowing that you're an Israelite. I'm sorry. I didn't get your name. What's your name, sis?
Monica.
Monica. All right, Miss Sister Monica. We're going to show you the important part of knowing that you're an Israelite, because we come out here to teach our people. We don't benefit from it, but it's a certain thing that we are here to benefit you. The Most High God sent us out here to wake you up, to let you know you're an Israelite because of this. This is what, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Okay, read.
Matthew 15:24. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
For everybody.
The house of Israel.
God, Jesus loves everybody.
The house of Israel.
So according to the Bible, Jesus Christ only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So it's important for you to know that you are Israel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, Sister Monica? You're not a Hispanic. You're not a Mexican. You're an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.